Hello, Millie. Good girl. Hi, everybody. It's Craig again. Now, today I'm going to speak about something that's really difficult. It's a really difficult subject. It's a bit about my childhood, and I'm hoping that this video may help others who may need a bit of help. Whilst I'm doing the video, there was some links that pop up and should be added down below. That's for the NSPCC and the Samaritans. There may be a couple more. Now I'm going to start today, and I'm going to talk about sexual abuse. It's a taboo subject, but something that I feel needs to be spoken about, and I'm going to speak about my experiences and how it's affected me in my life. I'm hoping that after the video, if anybody's out there that watches it, thank you, darling, they're able to find a bit of comfort and hopefully get the support that they need. I didn't have any support when I was young. Didn't have any at all. I was on my own. I'm going to speak. I'm going to go through a lot of the things that have happened. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will speak about certain people. I'm not going to mention the names, and hopefully you'll get a lot of comfort out of it all. First of all, I think I was about 3 years old when we had a female babysitter. She used to sexually abuse me, touch me, and as far as I'm aware, tried to make me do sexual acts on her. I do know that she was caught doing it. She was arrested. I don't know if she went to prison or not. It was in the late 70s, early 80s. I was living with my mum at the time, I believe, although I have been in foster care when I was young, so I believe I was still with my mum. The next one was a gentleman. Well, it weren't a gentleman, because a gentleman wouldn't do that. It was a man. He was a partner of my mum's at the time. He endured me and made me do sexual acts upon him. He also made me drink his urine, and he weed on me as well. Oh, bless you. You know, don't you? I know, darling. Later on, when I was about 8 years old, I think I used to play around in the cattle market, and I met an older guy there who took a bit of a shine to me, I suppose, but I didn't realise at the time. And we used to hang out a little bit. I thought, I've got an older friend, I'm okay. Unfortunately, he took me into the cattle market, took me into one of the sheds in there and raped me in there. I don't know his name, never saw him again. When I was 9 years old, I was introduced to a guy who owned a second-hand shop. Now, at first, he used to give me sweets and drinks. He used to give me cash. He used to let me help out of the shop. He used to give me things out of his shop as well, pen knives and things like that. What I didn't know at the time is that he was grooming me. This went on for quite a while, and then the abuse started. He started touching me. He used to take my trousers down. He used to do sexual acts upon me and made me do sexual acts upon him. And then it ended up in the attic, in his attic of this shop, where he used to rape me. He also took me to his mum's grave, where, I don't know why, but he decided to rape me on his mum's grave, which is not a very nice memory to have. After all this, I decided to speak up, and he was arrested. My stepdad at the time, and he's still my stepdad, I actually call him Dad now because he's been my dad. He went down and hit him, and my dad actually got a conviction for, I don't know if it was GBH or ABH, for hitting him. The guy was quite old. He was in his late 50s. He received 6 to 7 years imprisonment in the 1987, I think it was. When I spoke out, all the young boys around the local area spoke out as well, and he was doing it to other boys. Now, after all this happened, I was still in junior school, and I had a friend at the time that I trusted. I told him what was going on. However, he went out and told everybody in the school that I was gay and that I liked to take it up the arse. This hurt. Not only was the lies wrong, because I'm heterosexual, but in the 1980s, being gay was frowned upon, and it was very dangerous at the time if you was gay. Nowadays, obviously, people are more open and acceptable to it, which I've found society now a lot better. It's good for the gay community and the LGBTs in the world. It's fantastic. I support all you guys, and I think it's brilliant that you're now able to express your love for each other. I moved area, and I moved to a different school. I didn't want to express to anybody how I felt, or talk to anybody in case anybody went around again and told everybody that I was gay. So I kept it all inside, which can be very dangerous. I went through the whole school without nobody knowing. I was bullied a lot at school for my speech impediment. I was bullied in the local area a hell of a lot. I had a bit of a rough time, but still I didn't tell anybody. It was eating me up inside though. I started to have what I called demons. They're my demons, my memories. I used to have nightmares. It used to keep me awake at night. I struggled at school. I didn't get my correct grades at school, and I had to move on to college after I left to, better myself and get better grades. It didn't help that my mum used to keep me off school either. But whilst I was at school, I met a very good friend of mine at the time. His name was Dom. I hope you don't mind mentioning your name, Dom. But he was a very good friend of mine. He was very supportive. Whilst on a holiday in France, we went to France and Switzerland with a very good friend of ours who was a vicar at the time. He's now retired. He took me and Dom to France, where we enjoyed a really good holiday. But whilst there, I opened up to Dom, and I explained that I was abused as a child. I explained to him in a bit more graphic detail. I was crying. I think he was a bit shocked at the time. But I asked him never to tell anybody, because I didn't want everybody knowing. And to this day, I believe he's still not said anything to anybody. He was a really good friend through school and helped me a lot. Whilst at school, still at school, when I was 15 years old, I thought to try and help my emotions and my feelings, I'd stick my thoughts and my feelings into poetry. So I'd just like to go through some of my poems that I did. I've actually got two that I want to share with you guys. Oh dear. The first one is called The Cry for Help. The pain and hurt will never fade, as he ordered me down, and down I laid. He touched and caressed my virgin smooth skin, as he is part of Satan's sin. He held my unharmed hand, gentle and calm, but to my groin I felt his rough warm palm. I was 9 years old, and I was full of shame when it happened to me again and again. For this old man, he's in my head. Oh, I wish he would die. But no one could hear my silent cry. Finally they hear, and they roll the dice, for the dirty old man has to pay the price. I pray to the Lord, forgive the insane, regretting it could cause so much pain. That was obviously about the experience that obviously I had with the gentleman. No, he's not a gentleman. With the horrible man that obviously abused me at the time when I was 9. The next one's a bit about the feelings I had. And I went through stages where I felt suicidal. I felt life wasn't worth living. A lot of people, a lot of young people can't cope with traumatic experiences in their life, especially sexual abuse. A lot of young people self-harm. I was lucky, never really did any self-harm. I did try and cut myself a few times, stood on bridges, wanting to jump off in front of trains, wanted to jump in front of a car, take overdoses, strangle myself, hang myself. All sorts of things used to go around in my head. But I wanted to put all these feelings down to see if it would help. And this is the poem I did again when I was 15 years old. It's called Pain That Hurts. Love and hate, it comes and goes, like a piece of barbed wire around a single red rose. It all bottles up deep inside as a single crystal tear falls from my eye. I think of the good times we had, but look at it now. It's all so sad. The memories I have to burn, as in my life. Which way do I turn? Should I run? Or should I hide? Do I stay? Or do I die? Then I sighed. Our birth and death, wounds to bring our healing. As a baby laughs, all I do is cry. Now they're quite strong poems, and for a 15-year-old, I think that's actually quite traumatic. But I was able to express my emotions and my feelings in poetry at the time, and that helped a little bit. Obviously, I stated earlier it affected my grades, and I wanted to better myself, so I ended up going to college and doing so. Years had passed, and I was now married and had children. I had a stable job. Life was perfect. Or so I thought. But the demons of my past wouldn't leave me alone. I was finding life difficult, trying to understand my abuse, my feelings, why it happened to me. These feelings overtook my life and eventually destroyed what I had. Now, a lot of people who have been abused in the past can either turn to drugs, alcohol, prostitution, self-harm, suicide, gambling. Me, I turned to alcohol and gambling. As you know, I came very close to suicide too. I had to deal with all these emotions on my own. I wouldn't accept help from anybody else because I've always dealt with everything on my own. I needed help, and eventually I cried out for help and I received it. I went to see a counsellor. We talked about my abuse, we talked about my gambling. By the time I took this path in life, my marriage was already over. I gambled a lot of money. I put my wife through hell. But whilst through the counselling, I was asked, why do I gamble? Initially I thought it was because of winning. When you win and the buzz you get off when you win, and if you win a big amount. But then we looked at it and we broke it down. And when you lose, especially if you lose a lot, hundreds of thousands of pounds, the feeling you get when that happens, you feel ashamed, you feel worthless, you feel embarrassed, you feel sick, you feel vulnerable. Now what we've found out is in my subconscious mind, because that's the kind of feelings I always knew and always felt as a child, my mind and body was craving these feelings. I couldn't cope with normal feelings of love and happiness. That's actually quite hard for me at times. But what I was doing when I was gambling, when I was losing, I didn't feel as though I was getting any satisfaction from it, but my subconscious was, because it was getting those feelings that I hadn't felt when I was young. I got the help I needed. I still gamble now, but I do it in in a minimal way. It's controlled, and it's helped by my wife now. I met my wife in 2013 when I was in a very, very low and dark place. I was homeless. I'd lost my first job. I was out of work. She looked at me and she saw the future. She helped me and she stuck by me. She even came to collect a food parcel from a food bank because I had no money. And that support I had, I knew that was somebody I wanted to be with forever. We got married in 2017, which was a fantastic wedding. But before I got married, obviously I got back into work and I carried on doing the work that I'd already started in 2000. Whilst at work, I decided I still needed help. I don't sleep. I've got insomnia. I have night terrors. I can punch out in the night, kick out in the night. I needed help to look at the past and how I'm dealing with it, and if there's any better ways of dealing with my past. I told my wife all about my past. She was horrified. I ended up going and having 2 years of psychodynamic therapy, which helped a little. It was good to talk about everything, how I felt, having a look at how I've actually dealt with things. Now in life, I've looked at myself as being a phoenix. That no matter what happens, trials and tribulations in life, I may fall and I may burn, but I'll always rise up and be a better person than I was before. Now that philosophy has helped me throughout the whole of my life. A lot of this I've done on my own. Whilst I went through the therapy, I found that I had PTSD and I had passive attachment disorder, which is where I'm able to talk about my past, literally, but not have that emotional connection to it. That's not stating I don't cry, because I do. Usually when I'm on my own, I'll sit down and think. I'll think about what I have now, what happened in the past. And I do sit there and cry. I do like to do it on my own because I don't want to feel embarrassed. However, it is good to cry, and it is good to cry in front of other people. Don't feel embarrassed. I'm trying to get used to that now. It is hard, but I'm trying to get there. The memories of abuse never go away. They do sometimes fade in the background, but they can come to the forefront of your mind at any given moment. You just have to learn to cope with your feelings and learn coping strategies on how to cope with your feelings and your emotions, your thought processes. So hopefully one day you'll be at peace and you'll be able to move on in life. For the last 19 years, apart from having a little break, I've worked for social care in residential homes, for children with disabilities and autism, and as a leaving care PA. I've used all the negative influences of my past experience in life and turned it into a positive way of life, helping and supporting other young people that may have gone through similar experiences as me. I've strived to be a great role model for others, help them overcome, conquer, and strive to help others with their situations and let them know that there are people there that help, that love them and will support them. I really hope this video has helped you guys out there, and please feel free to click on any of the links if you need that help and support. If you're not able to click on the links for some reason, please reach out to a friend or family member, a teacher or a colleague. No matter what age you are in life, if you've gone through similar experiences, there are people and organisations out there that can help you. So, for everyone out there, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, bye for now.